Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jackson Rambles for 10 or so minutes about the Portuguese language. Last episode, we covered how much I like particular sounds in Portuguese, and in this episode, we're going to be focusing on how difficult these sounds are to make in Portuguese for English native speakers, because I am an English native speaker, and I am learning Portuguese. So let's begin. First off, we have First of all, we have D. The D sound is different than it is in English. It's closer to the front of the mouth, but you kind of pick up on this sound, the T sound, which is also the same as the D sound. It's a little closer to the front of your mouth, and the slight R roll, like in presa, tres, etc. And I got all of these in about a year. Maybe even less than a year. No, about a year, 6 months to a year. And because I remember laying in my bed, ready to fall asleep about 6 to 9 months after I've been learning Portuguese, and then I just started doing it. It just happened. I'm like, cool. And I think that you can like lump these three together because of like the word tres, because you need to say the T in a particular way in order for you to get the R roll, and same with D, like padrões. So because of this, you kind of learn them all at the same time. Next is A. I just got A, so I'm gonna put this right here because I'm so used to saying aum or oins that I never could do just A, because it was just last summer and I was singing Soteo Fa by Denny's, and I was just like, whoa, I can make this noise now. That's cool. Next is oins. You would get in about 2 years. Same with aum. It takes a while to get these sounds because they really don't exist in English. They really don't exist in English. Same with im. All the nasal sounds are very difficult because they don't exist in English. Same with I. I is the same thing. So we just knocked 4 out right there. Next is closed O. So it's like gosto, like a gosto. You can get that right away. It didn't take me long. I just had to speak with somebody, repeat it a few times, and I got it. Gosto is a bit different. I don't exactly remember when I picked it up. I mean, I remember when I was able to do it. I don't remember when I was able to do it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I remember when I did it for the first time, but I didn't know how long I'd been saying it unintentionally, because I was being tutored. The girl who was tutoring me was from São Paulo, and they say like eu gosto, like with an open O. So I repeated that for a while. So I don't exactly know when I did it. It would probably be in about a year to 2 years. I'm thinking a year. These ones, I'm gonna skip the E's for now. A, like la, I just figured out that I say it like that. I mean, I've been saying it all the time, but I just realized like, oh, when there's an A like that, that's how you say it. So it took me 3 years. Ilha, I still can't get Ilha. I try to get Ilha. It's just not right. It's one of those that's just really difficult. And same with Nha, like galinha. It's very difficult for somebody to get these sounds to a near native level. Very difficult. And not because they don't exist in English, because you look at oins, like those sounds don't exist in English either. But I think because they're so different, they're easier to just pick up and get right away. Whereas ilha and Nha, you have to like make somewhat English sounds, because you can say it in an English way, right? You can say like ilha or galinha, like Nye, but you say it in a different way than you would in English. Whereas that just straight up doesn't exist in English. The most you can do is ow. And there's a very clear distinction between the two. But with ilha and Nha, it's much more difficult to really understand when you get it right. And now we have the E's. A and eh. I think you can say the closed E right away. I can't do it now because I just do it automatically. So like the closest I can get is saying like ela and ele. So E is like the closed throat and ela is the open throat. Speaking of the E, I just got the open throat E. It took me 3 years. I remember my ex, I was like, how do you say foot fetish in Portuguese? Because she was Brazilian. And she's like, oh, probably fetiche de pé. And I was like, oh, okay. So I said, fetiche de pay. And she was like, no, it's pe. I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I just did that 30, 40 times. I was getting so frustrated. And then she got frustrated. It was not a good time. But that's my memory associated with the S sound. But now I can do it after 3 years of trying. So it's not an easy sound. It's really not easy to open your throat as an English speaker, because everything you say as an English speaker is closed throat. Everything. There isn't a single instance where you open your throat as an English speaker. But in Portuguese, you do it all the time. Most of the language is spoken with an open throat. So saying those words like la and it's really difficult. And if you don't speak Portuguese, you probably can't tell the difference between open throat and closed throat. Anyways, that's my rant. This is the tier list. I'd say it's a very solid tier list. So if you're learning Portuguese and you want to know like how difficult it is to learn particular sounds in this language, here you go. Congratulations, you found the resource. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Jackson Rambles for about 5 to 10 minutes about the Portuguese language. And I'll see you guys in another episode. Episode 3 should be coming up. I don't know when, but it'll come up. Okay, anyways, have a great day. Bye.